Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. I wanted to share this with you because it certainly feels like we're right on the verge of World War III, right? I mean, there's already wars and there's rumors of wars taking place all around the globe. We're talking about the big one here, right? The last World War. One of my favorite quotes from Einstein is that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Certainly that paints a picture, and there's no denying that World War III is going to be nuclear. So there's a few things I wanted to show you that really caught my attention. I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to share this with you because it goes right back to a lot of the things we cover here on my channel. So we're going to kind of progress through this, but I wanted to show you this here first. Some of you may remember this. I've covered this in some other videos as well. Russian ships were displayed at the Democratic National Convention tribute to veterans. This is back in 2012 that this one right here took place. And of course the official story is, oh yeah, it was an accident, we're sorry, you know, we don't know how this happened, or whatever, right? But oftentimes what I call the beast system reveals itself like this. We get these hints, we get these clues, we get these signs and signals before these things happen. So now we flash forward 3 years. This is September 4th, 2015. This news story came out. Chinese and Russian warships spotted off U.S. coasts are sparking rumors of impending Russian invasion of the U.S. mainland. I've covered this subject before, the idea of China and Russia and elements of Islam attacking America. That's not just something I came up with off the top of my head. This is prophecy we're dealing with. This is all found in Revelation. I believe America will be attacked. This is going to be a big part of World War III. I don't want this to happen, but it certainly seems like it's all kind of heading that way, doesn't it? So before I really show you what this video is all about and show you the main footage I wanted to show you, I just wanted to cover a little bit about this World War III. In a lot of my videos where I've mentioned this, inevitably I'll get tons of messages or comments about it saying, you know what, America's the biggest military in the world. We ain't got nothing to worry about here. We're going to be just fine. You know, I get that all the time from people saying, you know, America's the best, we're the biggest, you know, we're gonna whoop that ass, you know, whoever comes this way, we're gonna take care of it, ain't nothing to worry about, right? It's my opinion that people who think like that think, oh, America's the best, man, we're the biggest military ever, people who think like that are holding on to a concept, to an old idea that's out of date. What you're not taking into consideration is all the damage that Obama has done since he's been in office. Now again, most of you who know my channel understand I'm not a partisan player. I'm not a part of that false left-right paradigm. I'm not a fan of Republicans or Democrats, and I've shown that in many of my videos. That's a false system that's been exposed. But Barack Obama is the fox in the henhouse. He's had almost 7 years now to completely and totally dismantle America, or at least what America used to be. I'm going to leave a link to this right here. It'd take me forever to go through the entire list. But you got to check this out. President Barack Obama's complete list of historic firsts. Now these aren't good firsts, okay? These aren't good things. So this list goes on and on and on, but you're going to see just how pivotal his position, his presidency has actually been in the dismantling of America. And this right here is just an example of that. And this is something you really have to consider. Okay, now again right here you have Army cadets on campus were forced to wear red high heels to raise awareness of rape culture. Why is this so important? Well, obviously it's a shame. It's a damn shame what they've done to the armed forces. And this is just one example. But you got to think of it like this. You know, this is the kind of stuff that all those other people in the other countries are seeing. This is the kind of stuff they're seeing about our American military. It's just one story. Here in America, our media is controlled. You know this, right? Fox, MSNBC, all of them controlled by just a handful of conglomerates, right? These companies that are huge monsters and control tons and tons of other companies. So they have corporate interests to protect. This is why on the news here in America, you'll see them run with the same stories on all these different networks for like a week or two at a time. Essentially, they're all working off of the same scripts. As far as the false left-right paradigm goes, they may be covering the same story, but they're going to have their spin on it. The quote left side and then the quote right side. They're going to have their little spins, and that's usually going to create some kind of an emotional conflict within you, the viewer. Because most people choose a side. You know, you feel like you either have to be right or left, and there's nothing in between. So even in all these other countries out there, you have to know they control their media as well. These are the kind of stories that I feel are promoted to all these other countries out there, specifically Russia and China. You don't think they've seen this? I'm sure they've seen this and a lot more. These stories go global. They go all over the place. It's not just nationwide. And what does this tell other countries about America and about American military? I mean, just look at this. Seriously. You think they're scared of us? No, America's got the biggest military. But do they? No, man, America's got the biggest military, the toughest. No, okay? No. Let's take a look at something else here. Well, then you got stories like this. American troops don lipstick and wigs for drag performance at a U.S. air base in Japan. Now, again, this is the kind of stuff that gets worldwide coverage. This is the kind of stuff that these people in these other militaries are seeing about American military. I myself am a veteran. I served 8 years active duty in the armed forces here in America. I never saw wartime. I was in the Coast Guard. But still I served, and I'm very proud of what I did for the Coast Guard in those 8 years. And I was friends with people from all these different branches. I mean, this kind of stuff right here was just unheard of back then. I mean, you didn't see this. We didn't think about stuff like this. This is that political correctness. This is that social engineering, all that stuff that's coming in to the military. So this is social engineering on a massive scale, and there's a lot of different agendas being played out right here. But one of the most disturbing for me is the way it makes American military look to all these other forces around the world. This is the Chinese military. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to watch some of their drills or some of their parades, but you've got to check this stuff out. But do you think these guys are going to be wearing red high heels anytime soon for rape awareness? Do you think they're going to be putting on lipstick and wigs and doing drag shows for the rest of their comrades? This right here is some footage from a Russian military parade. Really, it's the same thing. And do you see these guys anytime soon putting on red heels and marching for rape awareness? Do you see these guys donning lipstick and wigs and performing in drag for their fellow comrades? Now, this right here is one of the most extensive lists I was able to find of all the military people who've been purged and fired under Obama, and there have actually been more since. So you can look that up for yourself. This is unprecedented. This is stuff that has never happened in America before. Obama is a first in a lot of these things. The America that I was born and raised in, and a lot of you were born and raised in many years ago, it's not the same. Okay, all this stuff is heading towards that beast system, that New World Order, that Antichrist system. So Obama's playing his part. I'm going to leave a link to this list below so you can check it out for yourself. It's a real eye-opener. This list goes on and on and on. I mean, like I said, we've never ever seen anything like this in America. This many of our military commanders and generals and officers, real high-level people, under Obama just disappearing. See? So the military has been purged. Like I said, Obama is the fox in the henhouse. America has been gutted from the inside out. All of this in preparation for the one world order, the New World Order. And I see people all the time saying, or asking, how are we going to stop this? How are we going to stop this world war? Things like this. Well, I mean, the bad news is that I don't think you can stop it. This is prophecy. This is prophecy we're dealing with. It's on the way. Like, this is what all this stuff is coming down to. This is Satan's agenda we're seeing play out right before our very eyes. So as far as I'm concerned, the only option you have is to go with God. And God tells us He will protect His children during these times. So with all that being said, let me go ahead and get to some of this other footage, something I wanted to show you here. So recently, China released this 3D simulation of Island War. It was created to showcase China's military might during the celebrations of the 70th anniversary of World War II's end. Now I'm going to show you where America falls into this, and I think that's very interesting. But beyond that, there's a couple other things that happened in this video that really stood out to me, and I want to share that with you. In the opening of the video, produced by Chinese internet giant Tencent, An unnamed, quote, ally country has broken international law on the seas off mainland China, and the result is not pretty. So in the video, apparently this footage right here is of the, quote, bad guys. But if you take a look at that, it looks an awful lot like an American F-22 Raptor fighter jet. Then, of course, it shows this ship blowing up here in the background, which bears more than just a passing resemblance to a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier from America. So again, we have this nameless enemy in this base, right? But it's interesting because the only islands with air bases that are within range of China's military just happen to be the home of the U.S. military on Okinawa in Japan. Now here's something I wanted to show you. It really stood out, and I thought it was just strange, okay? I mean, why would they put this in there? What's the purpose? But as you can see right here on one of these carriers, they got the 666. And something else I thought was really interesting about this is right underneath the 666 they have the pyramid with the sun. Now I don't know if that's a traditional symbol that they have on these ships or not. I'm not really sure, but I thought that was really interesting. They got the 666, and directly underneath it they have the symbol for a pyramid and the sun. Now, I believe this stuff comes out, as I always say, the veil is lifting. The beast system is revealing itself. We see this more and more. So I'm really not that surprised that there's a 666 in this thing. Now let me show you what I thought was the most interesting part of this video. Now this part seems to come from out of nowhere. It seems really random, but I just think it's really interesting it's in there. Check this out. So what is that? You know, what are those things? And we've seen those before. These light orbs. Now, I've covered these a lot on my channel. I've got a whole section, a whole playlist called Alien Demon Deception, where I show a lot of these orbs showing up in really interesting situations. Oftentimes you'll find them around, quote, natural events, strange things happening, volcanoes, dust storms, earthquakes, things like this. Now, I personally have always seen these things as interdimensional beings. I don't see them as little gray aliens, or I don't see these as actual spaceships or anything like that. I genuinely believe these are interdimensional, demonic interdimensionals, or fallen angel trickery, if you will. And these things have been showing up more and more over the last several years, and they're all over the place. There's always new footage coming out online with people capturing these things on camera. So that's where it gets really interesting for me. You know, I do believe these things exist. There's enough footage out there, and like I said, I've covered it quite a bit. But we find it in this 3D simulation of this Chinese military. So could it be that this is advanced technology? You know, is this advanced technology from the fallen angels? And there's a whole study on that you can do. Is this going to be a part of the Great Delusion? I certainly believe there's going to be some kind of a visitation. I think we've been set up for that for a really long time. And I see that all as a part of the Great Deception, a great deception to come. So there's no denying that these are the light orbs, right? And I'm sure many of you have already seen a lot of that footage out there of these light orbs. So what is it they're really trying to tell us in this? Are they trying to prepare us for this? Are these actual weapons used by the militaries of the world? Is that going to be part of the Great Deception? We're going to see hundreds of thousands or millions of these things coming from out of the sky, and everyone's going to think, you know, this is it. You know, finally, disclosure. Will this be used somehow to trick the entire world? Or are these actual interdimensionals, you know, demonic manifestations? Perhaps it's a combination. You know, who knows? Perhaps it's a combination of it all. It's going to be bad news for you if you don't know God. I'll just say that, because that's what all this stuff comes down to. We're going to see this stuff coming out. It's coming. And if you don't know God, you're not going to have peace, and you won't be protected during these times. That's my opinion. So anyway, you guys, I wanted to share this with you. I thought it was very interesting. Keep your eyes to the skies. Stay aware out there. Take care, and I'll talk to you real soon.